All right, welcome back everyone to the Authentic as Fuck podcast. My name is San. In this podcast, I talk with some of the members of our community, and we talk about marketing, branding. I help some of the members with their storytelling, or kind of growing their business, in whatever areas that is. And today we have Muoki. Welcome, Muoki.
Thank you,
Good to
son.
see you, man.
Yeah. Long time no see.
Yes, we just had a meeting this morning. Uh, let's tell everyone like where you're from, what you do, and kind of give them a little intro.
Yeah, so I'm in Virginia, Northern Virginia, not to be mistaken with the state of Virginia, and I do I do real estate and social media marketing. So I've been here. I mean, I've been in Virginia since 2001 when my family and we immigrated from Kenya. Took a brief stint to do grad studies and get married, but for the most part, I've been here for a real long time.
Oh, awesome! And what do you do now? You just recently kind of switched your careers, right?
Yeah, well, trying to, but I don't know how.
Hmm.
But I real estate and so social media marketing, but still within real estate. So like my handle is Muoki the Realtor. Because I still have my license, I still have clients and everything like that. But my day to day, like 8 to 5, is marketing.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you started out as a realtor, and you did kind of social media for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're trying to help other realtors
Yeah.
build their social media.
Yeah, well, that and also for the brokerage that has my license, so I'm
Okay,
the manager for them, and then at the same
got it.
time
Okay,
also, building, helping. So it's building a corporate brand, and then also helping agents within that big umbrella have their own, like their own brand, and then on top of that, friends, businesses that need help, I consult with them for a
got
fee,
it.
but I do
Mhm.
consult with them. Yeah,
And so, is it mostly like in a coaching basis, or do you actually like
yeah,
make content for them
yeah,
and
both.
both?
Yeah. So like for example, there's a friend of mine where I definitely do so it's kind of like how you talked about in the past, like with Night Owl, right? People will say, "Son, I need a website," and you say, "Okay,
Mm,
I'll give you a website," but you need like a brand strategy, right? Like they're not going
mhm,
to come to you for a brand strategy, but when they come to you for what they want, you give them what they need to be successful. So it's the same
mhm.
thing. So they'll say, "Hey, Moki, you know, um, you know, I need to post more on Instagram," and I'm like, "Okay, fine. Well, you need to do these things," and so I'll like give them some of the coaching stuff, but ultimately, they come because they want to fill up their Instagram or their Facebook or whatever. And at the end of the day, I always end up doing that. I always give them something so that they actually get like the tangible, practical stuff.
What do you think is like the biggest thing? Like they're struggling. Like, do they not have any content ideas? Do they just not have the time? Like,
Yeah, it's time. Honestly, time is the biggest one in my area, and even the people that I guess by virtue of how I started, because I started out on a team. I've always been in like the kind of peered with other agents that are like successful, like outside of like in actual like doing their jobs, like they're very successful, so they just don't have the time, one, to post, and then also they just also don't have the time to look for a VA. You'll say to them, hey, you don't need to make the content yourself, just go on Fiverr. And then they're like,
mm,
well, I don't even have time to go on Fiverr. So that's like a
mhm,
major challenge. And then also it's the classic, I don't know what to post kind of thing. And
mhm,
so then what they end up doing is just the regular, like, hey, now's a great time to buy, interest rates are low, or hey, I have this open house coming up. Hey, just kind of like that, the same
like
old stuff.
promotional, yeah,
Yeah, it's just the same old stuff that you'll like. You can smell a realtor like
like
from a
house
mile away, kind of
tour, yeah.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
So
So
what do you tell them? Like what kind of stuff do you tell them to post?
just client stories. I mean, if so for example, you know, uh, realtors, I mean, they love to say, hey, look, we just closed on this house, like, so we'll take a photo with the client that they
Like with the
closed on.
keys.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like the keys and like, hey, we just bought a house, we just sold a house, which is great because you see like actual like people, and it's not just like
Mm,
a thing. It's not just good marketing. But they never. But what I try and do is like just tell them to enhance it a little bit. Like give okay, you don't have to give the whole story about what happened, but what was um the major a major obstacle that they had to deal with. So for example, and I say do that instead of saying the classic, like hey, interest rates are low, you can
yeah,
buy,
yeah, yeah.
or buy, buy now, refinance later. Like no one wants to hear that
Hmm.
shit, and especially at 7%, who the fuck is gonna buy a home at 7%? No one can do it, right? So if you say that, no one's gonna listen. But if you have somebody who just closed on a home at 7% interest rate, you can say, hey, so this person had a 7% rate, but through doing this one thing, we found a way for them to like get a mortgage that was affordable without them having to like lose their minds or like spend all their
Yeah.
money, and now they're homeowners. So like do
So it's
that
like educational too
basically.
at the same time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's like the when I started, I was like trying to get everybody to do all sorts of different things, but I just landed on this one thing. Like, if you can just like tell me like what's one big thing that people like they struggled with, or they
One thing you can teach them from
yeah,
this deal you just did. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. So make it
Like
more relatable.
like if you have if you want to find the best mortgage broker, try to do this. Or
Mhm.
if you're trying to get a home inspection and this is you're having trouble, do this.
Yeah, basically like really
Yeah.
really simple stuff. And because yeah, so that's the main thing. So the big problem are the two things, like time, and then also um content that uh actually content that actually resonates with, because you said this too a while back, with the actual like buyers or sellers, right? Like not,
Hmm.
instead of realtors, because the shit, if you say, oh, rates are low, whatever, you're just talking to other realtors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So those two
That's actually
things.
what the biggest mistake I saw is that people see like Ryan Serhan or something like that, and they're making content about like real estate, but only other real estate agents are looking at that, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. And so for me, like I also just started making. So what's funny is I made more money off of social media, but off of YouTube, and not Instagram. So what I realized was, because I was in that one of those guys who's making content for the realtors, right? Like I'm making I would make
mhm.
something, and then like I'll get, oh, this person followed you,
But
another realtor.
you can get you can get business like that,
Yeah,
right?
you
Because you
get
might be a
referrals. Yeah,
seller,
yep,
yeah,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
there's
I
buyer, yeah.
Yeah, so actually, then what happened was a friend of mine. We went to college together. I found him on Instagram, and then um, I get there's like three people I know moved down to where he's at, and I referred them to
Hmm.
him, and then he knew somebody moving up to where I was, and he referred them to me, and then we've done business that way. So I think in terms of
Hmm.
like a networking, so Instagram for networking, it's great, but in terms of like doing like actual B2C, I did it
Hmm.
off of YouTube. So what I
YouTube.
did was
That makes total
I
sense.
just I just repurposed whatever I did was doing for YouTube, and
Yeah.
I just I just started doing it for Instagram, and I started getting more people following me that were not other real estate professionals, like for example, like family accounts, like things families that do things in like my area, Northern Virginia.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
started
yeah.
following me because I also started following them. So that's how I
Yeah,
ended
there's
up
so
touching
many that
myself.
I talk to a lot of real estate agents, and there's so many things you can do in that world, and there's so many different directions you can take. Like and it when you say that, like, it makes total sense that why YouTube would be better
Mhm.
for B2C, because
Yeah.
YouTube is a search engine, right? So if you
Exactly.
talk about real estate in, for example, like North Virginia, somebody who's searching like, like how to like find houses in North Virginia, it's going to show up. Whereas in nobody's going to Instagram and like looking for that in
Yeah.
in you know.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, and I mean, because what they would probably do on Instagram is just look for like luxury, like just see like they just want to see expensive houses,
Yeah.
and like how many people
Oh
are
yeah, yeah.
listing
People
$10
who
million
are
homes, you know?
interested in that kind of
Yeah,
like house design and
yeah,
things like that. You
yeah.
know what I would do if I was a real estate agent? And like, obviously I would do definitely what you said in YouTube, right? Like, I would go heavy on YouTube. But if it was Instagram, I actually would rarely post any. I would post real estate content just a little bit once in a while, because it's hyper local, right? Like, real estate is local. So what I would actually do is I would do information like events coming up in Austin, Texas this
Exactly,
weekend,
exactly. That's
right?
exactly it. Yep,
Because
yep.
that's what people are going to follow. Like, people
Hmm.
that live in Austin
Hmm.
are going to follow me because they want to know what events are coming up this weekend.
Yeah,
Uh, what what are some what's a new restaurant that opened? Like,
hmm,
those kind of things, right? The
yep,
neighborhood guides and stuff like that.
yep.
They're not following a real estate agent if they're not, unless they're like interested in real estate.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
most homeowners are not going to find.
Hmm. Hmm. Or the realtor is someone who's like a genuinely entertaining person, like
Yeah.
outside of the actual like, hey, I want to buy a house. So, and that's what I've found, like the like really successful realtors. One, they got on reels like, in the beginning, so they kind of had like, so there is a bit of like that head start thing, but at the same
Mm,
time they're also just like very like their content is really good. It's like really funny.
yeah.
It's like they have really good hooks, and so people will fall like they just end up just being, they just find their flow in the algorithm, and then they just build a following, and that's how they actually
Mm,
have closed deals. So, but most of the realtors that I work with, they don't want to do that. They don't want to, because so you say, oh, okay, I want to get leads from Instagram. Okay, okay, you got to make a reel. Okay, and it has to be, can't be trash. Like, you have to make a good
mm,
one. Well, okay, so what I need to do? Okay, here's how you find a trending audio. It's like, okay, I don't have time
mm,
for that. Okay, well, here's how you do this. Well, I don't have time for that. So you want to make good content to get people to follow you, but you don't have time to make the good content. So what do you want to? So then it becomes a bit of a like they what they want they don't want to put the work in to
yeah.
do. So that then becomes, so that's why, like, for you, like you said, like community events, that's what I do. Like, for the most part, I just make a few reels here and there that are like, just funny things that I think are funny. I also think about like some of the what is it like, what, Donna
For
Mill
you, actually, it should be different because you're actually targeting real
agents.
estate
Hmm.
agents,
Yeah, yeah,
not the homeowners.
yep, exactly, yep,
So
yep,
for you, you actually do have to make educational
hmm,
content
yep,
where you teach. Okay, like, maybe all the stuff that all the social media marketers post, right? Okay, like,
yep,
you know, like, use this hook if you wanna, you know,
yep,
to get more views, or
exactly,
yeah, this is what kind of how you should be using trending audio. This is how
yeah,
you add
hmm,
audio to your reels,
hmm.
like actual things like that.
And also, like, what I try and do as well is, so I can do all that, and what I also is, you know I make, so I also want to, like, one of the best ways that I found to um uh make a point for realtors is to actually do it, and then show them how, like, not only
Like an example.
yeah. So for example, I make a reel about what is it? Was it? Or there's one. It might be in my drafts, because I
Hmm.
got the idea last night, like super late last night. So
Hmm.
it's the it's that one trending audio is like, how's your morning going? I'm about to have a mental breakdown. Like, how about you?
Hmm.
He's like, nice, nice. Like, I'm in the middle of one myself, and it's like, the idea is, like a home buyer who wakes home buyer waking up, to see a 7% interest rate, and they're only pre-approved like $200,000, right? So it's like, so make that into an idea. So I can tell them to do, like, make a reel about this, make a reel about that, relates to buyers. Like, this is a concern that home buyers have. Like, it's like a legit obstacle, right? So I'll make the reel, and then I'll use that as an example to, and then
so they can use that.
Yeah. So that, and obviously, my goal and the hope is obviously that the reel does well, so that the performance also is instructional. So, so that's how I'm trying to figure out how to, be educational, because at the same time, like you asked me earlier, like I switched from real estate to, to social media marketing. It's like, yes. And also like sort of, because I believe in still like teaching through demonstration, like, and by virtue of doing that, I'm going to be making content that is sort of like targeted towards the consumer, B2C, just so that I can do the, the B2B,
so you do it yourself, and then you show them how you did it, or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one of the ways I do it, and then the other way is obviously kind of like the,
the ones that does the most stuff are the very basic ones, though. Yeah. Like, for example, like if you say, here's the best time to post for real estate agents.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Those basic ones, or like, like if you're a busy real estate agent, here's how you can make 10 pieces of content every week easily, in under an hour or something like that, right?
Yeah.
As stupid as those content is, they do the best.
Yeah, and the easiest lists are it's, and I don't know where, I don't know if it was a carousel you had last week or when, where you said something like, make your content so that like was it like a 5-year-old could read it, or something like very not like not dumb, but like very simple, and
simplified.
Because when or at least I'll talk to agents and say, hey, make this, make this, and what they put out, I'm like, you've got to, in my mind, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. But at the same time, it's like,
why? Because it's too long.
Well, yeah, it's just not very good. but you know what? It's not even because they're not good, but it's because I have so much information that when I say make this, I already have the ideas in my head. But when other people, they're focused on like closing deals, not on making content. So they're doing the best of what. So it's like, the content that does the best are like the easiest ones, because honestly, that's literally all the information they need. They just like, when should I make this post? Should it be like 12 p.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m.? That's like, those are the kind of, obstacles they have in their minds. Not, should my carousel be like, how do I make like,
why don't you do something like this? Like, here are the, here like the top 5 mistakes that real estate agents make in social media. 1, trying to close the deal on social or something like that.
That's great. That's really great. That's great. Maybe I should maybe I should make a carousel about that, like, and just have all 5 slides be like trying to close a deal off of social media. That's really funny.
Okay, so what do you have any questions for me? What can I help you with?
Basically, like, the question is, am I a realtor, or am I?
Well, where do you make most money right now? From your real estate deals, or from helping real estate agents with social media or marketing?
The marketing right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, okay. It's my job. It's my full time. I'm full time.
Oh, so you don't do sales anymore, real estate sales anymore?
No. Okay. Well, I still do. So to answer your question is, I do marketing. So marketing is my full time job, and then
for a brokerage.
Yeah, for a brokerage, and then but because I'm in a brokerage and I have my licenses, I do like
You do deals here and there.
like 6 or 7 deals a year. Yeah,
Okay, but that's
yeah,
not
but
your
it's
main
minimal. Yeah, it's
stream of
not.
income.
Not. No. No. No.
Okay,
Yeah.
and which and you wanna go more of a marketing route,
Yeah.
or do you
Yeah.
want to do more deals?
No, I prefer marketing. Doing. Yeah. I mean, I would. Yeah. This is, and it wasn't until. Yeah, and it wasn't even until I think until I joined. Right around the time I joined Night Owl that I realized that's what I want to do.
Oh, okay, so maybe what and do you want to do it for your brokerage, or do you want to do it for your own clients?
I mean, honestly, so one, I gotta do it for the brokerage because they're my employer. So there's that,
Yeah.
and then secondly, but I mean, ideal world, man, it would be um, for other agents, especially like those similar to the ones that that I've worked with, the ones that have a lot of business, they got a lot of um they've been successful. They just don't have they don't have the time to find VAs and go through all that mess. So to work with them, that would be my the ideal.
So right now for your brokerage, are you making content for the brokerage's account, like their company account?
Yeah, yeah.
And what kind of content is that usually?
It's all educational, mainly so
Towards brokers? Towards agents?
yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, that's a good. So it depends on the platform. So LinkedIn has been like super successful um with regards to obviously the B2B, other agents, other professionals, and linked and Instagram is the one that's sort of like B2C, but also still also, I mean, we're a brokerage. I mean, who does except for like Zillow, and maybe
But
Redfin, I don't think many people
the
follow
agents
those guys.
themselves don't do that for their own account, for like, because the agents are the ones that have the deals, right? And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they do their own social media?
Yeah. So,
Oh,
well, some of them do. So it's so it's in terms of the brokerage. I mean, my job is to to build the broker the corporate account, the corporate accounts, and then the agents that are part of the brokerage. I work with them, and so with the brokerage, I make the content, schedule it, strategy and all that. And then for the agents, it's on a as needed, it's their job to build their brands, and then as needed, as they need any kind of coaching or assistance or whatever, like that's where like I come in.
and do they
Yeah.
pay you,
No, no,
the
no, no, no,
agents?
no, not the agents in the brokerage. um Now,
Wait, so how does
if
that work?
they
So you're
if
working
they
for them for free?
if the no no so for the agent, so for the
You do it
agents,
during
like,
work hours or something?
yeah.
Okay.
So like, so for example, like, now look, if um I have my job in my job description and everything. I'm employed by
Hmm.
by the broker. And I have that. Now if agents are coming to me and saying, "Hey, Moki, I need help," like, if they
Growing
want,
my social media, yeah. Growing my Instagram.
if I do that, like, I'm definitely sending an invoice, because that's beyond my scope of work. So we'll
Uh,
definitely be like that. That's like, and I've told them, I said, like, I've even asked my my supervisor. I've talked with them, and I said, look, they want this, and they're like, that's not your job. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I know that like my job is just to build the brand. And then if agents need like actual, like, hey, I need a social media manager for my account, my brand, my this, my that. I mean, obviously, nobody. I mean, they don't work for free,
well,
so
I
why
guess
should they?
so my first question would be this, right? So it looks like you're strictly working for the brokerage,
Mm-hmm.
and the agents are managing their own social media accounts and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you might give them a little tip here and there, but you're not really actually helping them with their branding.
Yeah.
Uh, is your brokerage okay with, like, you getting subcontracts from the agent, like the agents paying you?
Yeah.
directly outside of the
Hmm.
brokerage to help them with their.
One I've never asked.
Hmm.
So I don't think it's out of the
Like on your own
question.
time,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
outside
yeah.
of.
No,
Yeah.
of course not. I don't think so. Yeah, because it's not a. Well,
Well, I guess
yeah.
that's the first thing that I would try to find out
Mm,
because the I feel like the easiest way you can uh, grow that business is by working
yeah.
with the agents in that brokerage.
Right. Yeah, and build their brand. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. 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 I mean, that's a great question. And I don't know the answer to that. I don't think they would be totally opposed. Um, as yeah, I don't think it would be totally opposed. I mean, obviously, I think
You know what? Do they know that you like also do coaching and stuff like outside of your brokerage, or do they think that you only do the work for you? Like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. I only do the thing. The only so I do the coaching and stuff. I do with I've got like let me backtrack. The the coaching and stuff that I do for realtors outside of the coaching I do outside of the like my work hours or whatever,
Hmm.
that's that's actually not in that's just like social media management consulting with other like friends and businesses that I know that
Yeah, I understand.
yeah.
But does your brokerage know that you do that, like for people outside of like your
No,
friends and
because yeah,
family?
because I've never mentioned it. I just don't talk
Okay,
about it, yeah, because
so I mean,
it has nothing to do with work. So
what if they watch this or like, you know
well,
what I mean?
yeah, I mean,
Don't
so
they go to your Instagram account?
my boss does for sure, but at the same
Yeah,
time, like I don't like my let me think about how to answer that.
because some companies are not okay with that. Like some companies are completely
The
fine you having a side hustle outside
yeah,
of the
hmm
9 to 5 job, but
yeah,
I know some companies don't like that when their employees are building a side hustle.
yeah. So I mean, honestly don't even know that. I don't know the answer, to be honest.
Hmm.
I don't because like I just and at the same time too, I just don't know like what what I so because with marketing, right? Like
Hmm.
or social media for marketing and then social media, like literally I could do it like I do it literally all day long, all night long, and if someone says, Moki, come help me with this, it's like, all I gotta do is just like get on my own Canva account, bust up
Hmm.
a few carousels here, give them a few tips here and there, um, put out, send out a 1099, like, that's I feel like everybody does that, unless I'm wrong. I don't know.
I mean, you mean you're doing it almost as a favor or something?
Basically, yeah, yeah, yeah. See, because I don't give like I'll give yeah. I mean, it's like one off. These are like one off invoices. It's not like I'm because I don't sign like contracts or anything with anybody. So
I know, but
yeah,
I mean, if you want to grow that side of the business, obviously
I know.
you're gonna have to, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
So,
yeah.
well, let me ask you this first: how many agents does your brokerage have?
We're a oh man, that's a good question. We have a lot. Sorry, we have across. I mean, we have got it's across like 14 states. So um
Oh, so it's like a typical traditional agency. They do like a 50-50% commission
no,
split
this is
with the.
all salaries. So it's a flat
What?
yeah, it's a flat fee. It's a
Wait,
flat
so
fee.
the agents don't get commission?
It's similar to like how Redfin does it, where you get salary bonuses. And then the commission basically goes to the brokerage. So that's the model.
Oh, the
So
agents just are on
all W-2s.
salary.
Yeah,
Okay.
everyone's on salary. So
Oh, so it doesn't make sense. Okay,
what's
so
that?
it doesn't make sense for the agents to try to market their own
No,
listings
it well, so it doesn't, but
because they're
it
getting the
also
pay the
does.
same exact.
Yeah, but at the same time, like at the same time, that it actually would benefit them because you know outside of like there are very few ways to innovate in real estate,
Mhm.
particularly in terms of prospecting. So the question, you can say this, right? Like, um, the you can particularly in terms of like, who do people work with, right? Like, if you have like 1,000, 10, 2,000, 5,000, followers or friends or on Facebook or whatever, because that's how I got my deals, was like a lot of the stuff that, and even how I ended up getting
I
these
know, but
jobs
you get
was
paid the exact same salary from the brokerage.
exactly. But you also, but the more deals that you close, um, obviously the more bonuses that you make. So there is like a financial upside too. So the question becomes like, okay, if you're, what are you going to do? Sit around and wait for leads all day, or, go out and hustle and get after it yourself. So,
Yeah, but if I have to, because I'm familiar with the real estate game,
mm-hmm,
right? So, traditionally the between the broker and the agent, they do a 50-50
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
commission split, right?
yeah,
And then I've
or a
seen,
cap or
and
something.
then there's the ones that get like maybe rental agents or something like that just gets a salary.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've seen ones where the commission gets keep 100% of their commission,
Yeah, yeah,
and they
yeah.
just pay a flat fee to the
To the
brokerage,
broker.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And usually when I see that on this end, where the ones that gets a salary, to me they're not real salespeople. They're pretty much like employees. The
Yeah.
50-50 ones are, they're kind of like, they hustle, they're kind of semi like the most entrepreneurial and the most
Mm,
hardcore salespeople that I know are
yeah.
usually on this end where they're getting 100% of the commissions, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So
and and so, I think for me, and I'll say this too, because of even why because even when I was in real estate before marketing, like I was at this brokerage, like I was a salaried real estate agent,
mhm,
and the reason why I got in was because, one, I loved, uh, the work that I did.
mhm,
I really enjoyed the people, but also like the the entrepreneurial side was just not like very like the entrepreneurial kind of spirit and hustle was just not very strong with me.
mhm,
And so it gave me a way that I could, you know do be in the business, and also like hustle and build, my my own, like the YouTube stuff, like all of that came because I knew that I didn't have to, like I could devote all of majority of my time building my YouTube channel, and not worry about, not worry about money, not worry about having to
mhm,
feed my family, not having to worry about, keeping the lights on. So
mhm.
like, so that's and that's why I like the model, because it allows
Mhm.
people to be
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
more
It's good
genuine.
for people that are,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and if, from on the sales side. Now, obviously, I think like there's for me, I think a legitimate value proposition towards like the customer, the consumer, like buyers and sellers. But in terms of like the professional side, you know,
Well,
that's how
all I was saying is that, because initially, well, what I was going to suggest is this, right? If it's like a traditional 50-50 commission split
yeah.
um, brokerage where they're not getting like a salary, right? It's commission based. I was gonna say all you gotta do is, if I were you, and if I'm working at a brokerage, I would go to my boss and be like, hey, let's do this. Let's create a new product called, like social media
Mm,
package for, and then the agents will pay the brokerage, let's say 500 a month,
that's a very
1,000 a month, whatever it
that
is,
is interesting. Yeah,
and then I'll help them to do that stuff.
that is such a great idea.
And then it helps the brokers because they're going to sell more. But then it's not going to work because no salary agent is going to pay for their own
Yeah, yeah,
marketing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah.
what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, this is base. So that's why the question, like, for me is I don't know if it's complicated, and even why I don't know what I should. I really don't know what I should
Well, first,
do.
I actually think the first thing you have to do is you need to figure out, maybe discreetly, not directly, if your company is okay with you building a business on the side where you're helping other real estate agents that are not part of your because like technically it's, if you're, let's say you're helping a real estate agent from another brokerage, technically that's competing with the
Competing, yeah,
brokerage that you're working in, right?
yeah,
So I would imagine they're not going to be too happy about that, right?
yeah. And that's why,
So
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, that's why I don't know what I mean. It's a real. That's so even whether or not the brokerage will be okay with it. It's, I mean, there's like the very obvious like business, conundrum of like, I'm essentially helping a competitor. Um, and that's why I just
I
even,
guess not if you're targeting a different
yeah,
region like
right.
New York.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, so I just don't know, man. Like and I don't know if like, should I just not even like focus on realtors anymore and just like do like something like totally different, in marketing, I don't know, that's just my dilemma, cause then that just eliminates that obstacle entirely.
Yeah, I guess obviously the easiest way would be to not focus on real estate agent
Yep.
and just do it in general. But obviously, if you focus with real estate, then it's a better niche because that's, you have background. That's your background,
Yeah.
right? So maybe what I would do if I were you, because the beautiful thing about social media is it's worldwide, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I were you, what I would do is I would go target different markets, right?
Mm.
Like the markets that where real estate is actually big, right? Like
Mm.
Austin
Yeah.
or New York,
Mm.
California, like certain markets where certain cities where real estate is big.
Mm.
And I would actually just, instead of trying to get clients, at the end of the day, what you're doing is a B2B business. Like
Mm.
what, I didn't get any of my clients through social media,
Right.
and almost
Mm.
every social media marketers, um, designers, those people, I don't know any of them who got like. Here's the thing, right? Like real estate agents are not sitting there following social media marketers. they're
Yeah.
they're following other real estate agents. They're
Yeah.
following people in their industry. Maybe they're following some.
Mm.
If they are following social media marketer, it's people like Gary Vee, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm.
if I were you, what I would do is I would make a list of top real estate agents in those major markets,
Mm.
like for example, Houston or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or New York or Austin, and I would just email every single one of them
Mm.
and say, hey, like if you're busy and you need somebody to like handle social media content for you, or if you need somebody to work with you on um, your social media like package your services, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and then I would just reach out to them and get clients that way. And once you build up a certain number of clients,
Mm-hmm.
then you can go off on you can use that to get more clients, and then you just build it that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're gonna have to do that on the DL.
Yeah. That's gonna be so crazy. I don't know how to do that. I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but we'll see.
Wait, why? Which is the part that you're most
Well, I mean,
concerned
I just
about?
never thought about. I mean, really, it's the brokerage, not because I am contracted with them, I'm still on a salary with them, and
Hmm.
I don't know what. Yeah, I mean, they
Well,
don't need to. What's
you're
that?
making content on social media that targets real estate agents
Right.
right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
and I
so.
started doing that as soon as like, and I do it on LinkedIn too. Like, I make
Mhm.
content about like, hey, if you're a realtor and you're doing social media, these are the things that you need to do. So I'm already doing it, sort of like, quite directly, but
So what would you
not.
do if somebody came to you right now and said, "Hey, can you help? Like, I'm going to pay you $2,000 a month. Can you help me with social media marketing?"
Shit,
What would you do?
I would ask them, where do I need to sign? I would
Yeah,
not
but
take
then it's
it.
the same thing. You got it's the same conundrum, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. I
I'm
mean,
just instead of saying them coming to you, I'm just telling you to go out and get them.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't see, I wouldn't, I don't see any problem with that. Like for me personally, like thinking about moving like that. I mean, I guess I just have to find out what exactly is in, the what is it, the corporate, whatever, like the handbook, like with all the
Hmm.
rules and regulations and stuff. I mean, I know there's I mean, there's the intellectual property one. I think that I'll have to read and see
Oh,
what
like you
what it
mean
says.
legally?
Yeah, I mean, because
Yeah, yeah. It depends on the. I guess that varies from company to like because some
yeah,
companies you're allowed to take on part-time jobs or whatever, right?
yeah.
Some companies you're not. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just have to figure out what exactly that would be. But I mean, but that's so we'll see. I mean, this all. I mean, really like kind of pivoting in this direction. All started like very recently, where I was, because I mean, up until I think maybe 3 or 4 months ago, even with Instagram, I was, still trying to target, buyers and sellers and actually, getting clients like
Hmm.
directly. And then, and then switching to doing, real estate and talking with realtors, and trying to, um, and really helping other agents, like that's like very very new for me, so it's still like super, that's why it's like so cloudy. That's why I don't have I don't have a lot of answers here, because you know I'm still, I just don't, I just haven't done it long enough and had and thought about it enough to get like that kind of clarity. So um
When you said you were getting leads from YouTube, are those for like your real estate deals, like
yeah,
buy
that
home
those are like
buyers and
legit,
stuff?
like, hey Moki, like I'm moving to Virginia, I want to, I'm
Mm.
thinking of moving to Virginia, and I want to, I need your
So
help, stuff
you're
like that.
literally generating leads
Yeah,
for your company.
yeah.
And they're
Yeah,
paying $0 for it. Like
yeah,
I see that something like that boggles my mind because
yeah. I don't,
there are
but
agents out there that pays tons of money to generate leads, right? So that and you're
yeah,
like literally doing it for free for this company.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you could say they pay me because of my, because I mean they pay me a salary, so it's not necessarily like I'm just like, you know,
I know, but this is coming from your personal
right.
YouTube
So that,
account.
yeah, yeah, for that for sure. Like it's, it looks a certain, it does look a certain way, but
Hmm.
but for me, like, and I don't know, maybe that's why, like, I'm just maybe not. I might just be like a terrible salesperson or a terrible
You know,
realtor, because that
can I be
doesn't help me
honest
at
with
all.
you?
Mm.
I don't know if this is your natural personality or maybe I don't know if it's like something. Maybe it has to do with how you've been working, like your environment, or I don't
Mm.
know. But the sense that I get as of now is that I don't think you're cut out to be an entrepreneur.
Yep.
Like, and that's okay, right?
Yep.
Like a lot of like I don't. I'm not really like that either, and I
Mm.
know that about myself. I know that like I could have grown my agency to like 150 people, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
eight
Yeah.
figure agency.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But the reason why I couldn't is because like I don't think I'm cut out to be like
Yeah.
a business builder,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
these people have like
Yep.
these are the people that says like what? No, I don't want no, I don't want no salary. Give me 100% commission.
Yep.
Like
Exactly.
those are the real purebred entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah, yeah. That is not that man. That's not me at all. I mean, that's like I said. That's why I switched out of the 100% pure commission model. I mean, like literally, like having that much, like, Moki, you can make like, all this money, all this money, all this money. Like doesn't really like motivate me a lot. It doesn't really like spark anything. I don't have that like competitive edge that moves salespeople. And I recognize that, what, like, you know uh, not only when I joined this company, but also when I moved over to marketing, because obviously with marketing, there's no like, you know, the the upside is
Yeah.
not as high. So, that's
Well, to me, it sounds like what's happening is you work 9 to 5 for this company
mhm.
and you enjoy doing the creative stuff, right?
Yeah.
it's not because I can see from your videos like you're very creative,
Mm-hmm.
like the kind of content that you come up with, and it's not like because there's two types of social media people out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's the ones that like loves the creative aspect of it,
Yeah.
and then there's the ones that are just like all business, like drilling it, like okay,
Yeah.
this works. Okay, let's look at the analytic. Okay, like
Yeah.
do you know what are the like they're just like all about business, right? Just
Yeah.
the numbers, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's so good that you have that self awareness that
Mm.
like you know what you like and you know
Yeah.
what you're not, right? And maybe and from now it sounds like you have a 9 to 5 job and this is almost kind of like you're treating it almost as a hobby. If
Yeah.
something happens out of that, it's
That's
great.
great.
If
Yeah.
not, you're not like trying to depend on this.
Yeah.
But maybe what you really should do is now just know that this is a hobby, right?
Mm.
And instead of like trying to turn this into a business or trying to focus on real estate agents or anything like that,
Ah.
don't even think of it in that terms. Think of it as it's your creative outlet. Like,
Ah.
I want to use this platform to just really be creative and make the kind of content that I really want to make, right? It could be about real estate. It could be about, just something funny. It could be about some life lesson. It doesn't matter, whatever it is, right? Just use it as your creative outlet to make uh, something you really want to make and have fun, right? Really,
Mm.
really
Yeah.
have fun with it. And I think what you'll find is that when you do that, when you're putting your energy and your passion and fun into it, without any restriction on like, okay, I need to talk to real estate agents
Yeah.
about this, right?
Uh-huh.
I actually think you'll make videos that'll do perform even better because
Mm.
it's actually like good, right? And it's gonna be, people are gonna be like, oh, wow, this is
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
creative,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then see what happens, and then from that, out of that, some opportunity might come to you where
Yeah.
maybe maybe a marketing agency will come to you and be like, hey, we want to hire you to do creatives for our company, and maybe
Yeah.
that's even a more ideal job for you. Or maybe clients will start coming to you and say, hey, can you create some videos for us? Or maybe a brand will come to you and be like, hey, can you do a brand like a brand video for
Yeah.
produce a video for us,
Yeah.
and see where that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Because just me and you, we haven't really had like these long kind of conversations
No.
before, but just like having this conversation with you,
Mm.
the sense that I get is you're more of a creative
Yeah.
than
Then entrepreneur. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
than a businessman.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's the, yeah, I mean, and that's like the total. And even like now that I think about it, maybe the dilemma is not really about should I do like do my own real estate or like do someone else's real estate. The dilemma really is about like should I personally just like be interested, like should I approach all the social content like just in a totally different way like you're describing, like I'm thinking of it from a
Business perspective.
yeah, and even
But that's
that,
not your strength,
yeah,
because
and that's and yeah, that's so
if it
crazy.
was,
Yeah,
there's so many other things that you
man,
can already be doing. For
that's yeah,
example, if I were you, like, I mean, maybe I won't be doing it either because I'm not really a business person either. But if I look at some of my most successful real estate agent friends, if they were in your shoes, this is what they would do. They would continue to work for the brokerage that you're working at. They will probably make some deal with other agents or other brokerages where they say, okay, I'm gonna the leads that I get, I'm gonna close these deals for you, and then you're gonna
mm,
pay me 50% of that
right,
commission.
exactly, yep, exactly, yeah,
Like, this
yeah,
is what they will be doing.
yeah, yeah. Get on a referral basis with other people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like that's see that's the point is, um, just as you were saying about me being creative. I just got this image in my head about even like why, like when I think about making content or I think about doing anything that's like creating something, um that's where like I feel the most like energized, the most alive. And then when it comes to like the process of,
Like
like
selling.
that's when I'm just like that's when the
Yeah.
anxiety hits. But you know what? Like that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not a salesperson. I mean, it's just selling is also just a formula, and only if you just do the formula long enough, you can be successful. So, but for me,
Everyone can be successful in anything, like to a certain degree, in my
yeah,
opinion, right?
yeah.
But the thing is, you know, I feel like a lot of people, the mistake that they make is their strength is one thing,
Mm,
but they try to make it here. And what
yeah,
happens is, like,
yeah,
what's even worse is they try to combine the two.
man,
And and
yeah,
then you're kind of like one foot in, one foot out. You're not going to
yeah,
get either.
man. That's so true.
It's actually
Yeah,
better to just double down on your strength.
yeah.
And if you're like a
Jeez.
salesperson, because I see a lot of people on the other side too, where I'm like, dude, you're like a born salesperson. Like
Mm,
you should just be selling, but they want to be a creative entrepreneur. So
yeah,
I see it on both ends.
that's so crazy. Because that's exactly and when you said that, like literally, like it was like the light bulb in my like went off in my like that's exactly how I feel. Like one foot in, one foot out, and just like trying to do both. Be good at both, and then like try to combine it to make it like
Yeah,
okay. So just really like in many ways combine it so that just to like consolidate like my
yeah.
resources because I'm just one guy, and it's
If I
just
were you, I would,
stressful.
I would, I would. This is what I would do. I would just make content for fun
Mm,
as your creative outlet, and make whatever content you want to make, right?
mm,
And sometimes it could be about real estate. It doesn't really matter, right? But think of it as like I'm not trying to get business with this. I'm just say something like this for the next 6 months to a year. Give yourself a
mm,
deadline and say I'm just gonna go nuts with this and just have fun, right? And then I think you should set yourself an hourly rate. Okay, I charge whatever. I don't know how much you charge now, but like
mm,
$50 an hour, $100 an hour, whatever rate. Like, and I don't even know actually what the market rate right now is for social media manager or something like that.
mm,
But I would set some sort of an hourly rate, or even create a package, right? Where you say, I can create 10 carousel for you for this price.
mm,
I can make 5 reels for you for this price, or something like that. So you don't even have to worry about selling, right?
mm,
And then when somebody, and then just put all of that into a PDF. Like, here's the different ways you can work with me, and here's how much they cost.
mm.
And then just keep putting out videos on social media, just creative outlet. And if somebody reaches out to you, emails you, and they're like, "Hey, you know, can I hire you to do something?" Blah blah blah. Just send them that PDF. Don't even like try to sell them. Just send them, yeah, here,
Yeah.
and then say, if you want to hire me, okay, here's the link to book my calendar. Just pay with your credit card, and then what? You know what I mean? So you don't even have to worry about the business side,
Yeah.
and any new business comes in through there. It's just a bonus for you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's so clear. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I'm doing. Like, I don't want to sell my coaching service. I don't
Mm,
want to sell, like, that's, I'm really focused on making Night Owl Nation and really figuring out the curriculum and things like that, right? So what I do is I just threw up a Calendly link on, if somebody wants, like, and it's not even like you can't even find that, but if somebody, like, once in a while somebody will reach out to me like, hey, do you do any private coaching? Like, I don't want to do the whole, okay, let's jump on a 15-minute discovery
mm,
call where now I'm all like pressure and I feel like I need to close this person. Like, I don't want any of that. So so what I do is I don't even do that. Actually, Gigi just sends them a link. And then some people book it and some people don't.
mm.
And then, believe it or not, like, enough people book it, then it's actually like, it's actually part of my revenue, right? And then when I
Yeah.
decided to do the mentorship,
Mm.
I just sent out an email and
Yeah.
say,
I
okay,
remember
here's
that.
the mentorship. This is what
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get. It's a fair price. Boom, you want to join? And literally, like, within a day, it got filled. Like, I don't like I know that I'm not a strong salesperson, and I'm
Yeah.
not a that's not my strength, right? So it's better for me to focus on being good at what I do, because if I'm really good at what I do, the sales will come in. That like I
Mm.
think there's two types of people: the ones that go out and gets the sales,
Yeah.
and the ones that are really great at what they do and they showcase it, and people come hire them or
Yeah.
give them money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I've always been this person.
Yeah.
So, and then for some reason, whenever, because sometimes I'll go see Ryan Serhant, and I'll go see these salespeople like Andy Elliott and these people, and I'm like, oh, I want to be like them too. I need to go out and I need to, I need to go out and I need to get, make deals happen.
Mm.
But whenever I do that, it never worked because as soon as I try to do that, then I'm pulling away from here,
Yeah.
and this side suffers.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, ideally, I mean that, and I mean that actually would be really nice, because that would also help me just, you know, that would energize me to do the
Yeah,
work that I
you
like to.
really want to do.
What I mean?
Uh,
So, for example, I mean, you talked about the other day too about how you can follow your passion. Sorry, follow is I don't know if it was like following your passion or just like the thing
Well,
that
you
makes the
already
thing
have
that
the money side down
yeah.
because you have
So
a 9 to 5 job.
yeah. So whatever makes you money, like do that because that's making you money, and then like
Yeah, so
the other
this is your
time,
side hustle.
yeah, the other time do like make it
Follow your
something,
passion.
yeah. So and I never, and maybe that might be what the problem is. Like I just
Right now, I feel like you're doing money and then trying to turn your passion into money
money,
too.
yeah,
Like that's
yeah, yeah.
the reason why you have a 9 to 5 job is
Mm,
so that you can have the financial safety. So that here you don't have to worry about money. You can just do what you want to do. Because when
yeah.
you do that, like for example, for me, when I actually do Night Owl Nation without caring about money, like I'm like, okay, my agency is gonna bring in money. I have this
Hmm.
like my coaching calls, like these other things are driving revenue. With Night Owl Nation, I'm not worried about money.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's when it becomes the best, and that's when it actually
Mm,
attracts more members and stuff like that. But if I'm trying to run Night Owl Nation where I need to make money from here too, then my content is gonna suffer.
yeah.
I'm not gonna. My curriculum is not gonna be as good. My
Mm,
marketing is gonna be more manipulative, and in all of those things, I'm actually like ruining this good thing
yeah.
that could potentially make me even more money later.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really helpful, man. I just gotta. Yeah, I need to. I just need to. I mean, but then with that, what do I do about my handle? Do I just create new accounts
No, see,
or
see, you're already thinking about like because remember the goal is not uh
yeah, it's
to
not business. So it's basically just
to
kind
be
of keep just
yeah
you whatever I have,
yeah
just use it and just have fun with it. Mm,
yeah. I mean, don't worry about any of that.
yeah,
The only thing you should worry about right now is how can I make the dopest content that I can
yeah,
make.
yeah, yeah. That's yeah, yeah,
Because I've seen you make some content which was like, wow, this the idea here is really good,
mm,
and
yeah,
I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm wondering like, I wonder what else he can do if
yeah. If
he's
I
not
just
limited to real estate or
yeah,
business or like,
yeah. Like that's what was it? The that story about like when I was at the pool with Max
oh
was
yeah
so
yeah yeah
good. I
yeah.
mean, that was so surprising. I think it was either that one or there was another one after. Yeah, I think it might have been that one. Like I've never gotten like that, like single images like rarely get any kind of like
Hmm.
engagement at all, and like that one just like blew up out of nowhere for me, anyways. For my and I was like, wow,
Yeah,
this is
because
insane,
people probably share it.
So
Are
yeah.
you on TikTok, by the way?
Yes and no. Yes. I have the accounts. No, because I've been, like you said, I've been stuck because I've been trying to make like this passion into like a business or make money like too fast or like unnecessarily.
Some of those videos that you make, I feel like it's really good for TikTok.
Mm.
So if I were you, I would make content on both also TikTok and YouTube Shorts too,
Mm-hmm.
and then just see because YouTube Shorts and TikTok is gonna give you a better indication of what's better, what's good content.
Mm.
Do you
Yeah.
understand what I mean? Because if you post something really good on TikTok and it's really good, then it'll like TikTok doesn't limit the number of views it's gonna get, whereas in Instagram will. Like Instagram, there's still a limit to how many views you can get depending on how many followers you have.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But TikTok, they really don't care. Like if it's really good, it'll get 10 million views.
Yeah. Mm. Okay. I never looked at it that way.
So TikTok can kind of give you a gauge for, okay, this is the kind of stuff people like.
Yeah.
That's
a really good idea.
Instagram is actually the worst. Instagram is the worst platform to grow. It's literally the least bang for your buck. Like meaning, it's gonna get the least view for the amount of time you spend because it's the most competitive.
Yeah.
Meaning, the number of creators to viewers ratio is the worst.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's too many creators and not enough viewers. Whereas in TikTok, there's not enough creators and there's a lot of viewers.
Okay. That's really good. Okay. Yeah. I never looked at it that way to use the performance on, because I do take some of the reels that I have and I do put
Post
them
it on
up
TikTok.
mainly on YouTube Shorts. So I have done that, and it's been really, really helpful.
You should do it the other way around.
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm saying. Is like I never thought to do it like this, like the other way around. So, okay, that's I could.
That's exactly what I do. I post all my videos on YouTube Shorts and TikTok first, and then I look at which ones do the best. And it's so funny, like when you post on TikTok and YouTube, usually the same video does well on both. You know what I mean? It's like people like to blame algorithm, but it's not, because that proves it, right? If it was all about the algorithm and not about your video, why would the same videos get the most views? And you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, this is super helpful. I never even thought of it this way. This really, really, really makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to, like, I could have sat here and kind of give you guidelines on how to do the real estate thing, blah, 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 all of that. But the reason why I kind of ask these more personal questions and things like that is because, like, I don't want to give the wrong advice to, like, if I feel that what you should be doing is something else, like, I'd rather give you that advice.
Yeah. I mean, it all started. I mean, for me, like even this conversation, it all started when you pointed out that I'm more of a creative person than an entrepreneur, because that's in many ways like how I got, and even at the brokerage I'm in now, when I was in sales, my supervisor at the time was like, "Man, Muoki's really good at at social media. He's really good at marketing. Like this guy is a marketer like I've never, just really." And it was like, how do we get this guy? Because the entrepreneurial side is that's what makes you like work really hard, to get leads, to get sales, and all of that, like all day long. But I just was focused on making content all day long. So it's like, how do we help him and find a lane for him? And like, that's actually how I got into marketing. Was like my sales manager was like, yo, this guy he's got these skills. And then they were like, okay, well, let's find a place for him. And that's how I got into it. So because that's when I also like, at the time I recognized that these were my strengths, was being creative, like putting two and two together, that were like, putting things together that maybe don't go together and like making
Hmm.
really good content. But I didn't know how to like I didn't know how to utilize them. So
There's both sides in every type of field. Like when it comes to marketing, there's the marketing side that has more to do with sales and conversions and things like that, and more of the creative side.
yeah,
When it comes to real estate, there's the creative side, and then there's the sales side. When it comes, and I think almost every business, and I think you need to understand even at Night Owl Nation, right? Like there's the type of work that Gigi does, and there's the type of work that I do, right?
yeah,
And I'm doing more of the creative side, and Gigi's doing more of the business and money making side. Like,
yeah,
if
yeah,
if it
yeah,
wasn't for Gigi and it was just all me,
yeah,
we wouldn't make money,
yeah,
right? And at the same
yeah,
time, if it was just Gigi and it wasn't me, then our product wouldn't be that good.
yeah, exactly.
So, you, you like, I think it's so important for us to know which role we play, what are our
Yeah,
strengths and what are our weaknesses,
yeah,
so that we can seek help in the area that's not our weaknesses, and we can
yeah.
really hone in on our strength.
No, this is yeah. I don't think I've been able to articulate exactly what the the friction has been over the last like 2 years has been exactly that is I'm just on the like
Yeah,
for me I'm on the marketing side more towards like the artist, I'm the, or even like if it was in sports, right? Like if every basketball, professional basketball player had to negotiate their own contract, they would suck at
yeah,
basketball.
exactly.
So
That's a
they
great
they
analogy.
just
Yeah,
have an agent, so the agent
yeah,
takes care of all the business and like all that blah blah blah, and they just
yeah.
focus on playing. So that's
You're
something
like
I've
a
been
freelancer. Let
basically
somebody else
do
handle the business side.
all the other stuff, right? Exactly. So yeah, yeah, and that's so good. That's so good.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see where you're gonna take it from here.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Yeah, it's really interesting. Um, because even you talk about content that does really well. There was like the one I did the other day where I was like with my wife in it. That like blew up like crazy, but also like I collaborated with her and everything. But still, it's still making content that like for me, like even when I think about that reel that I made, even the thought process like of even thinking about how this, my mind was not even I need to get followers. My mind was this is a really good idea, and then like make it happen. That was my thought process, was on like making the concept come to life rather than like, okay, I wonder what the analytics are, blah blah blah. So yeah, I'll definitely be doing more of that. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember seeing some of the reels that you do. It's like,
man,
huh? How did
I'm
it come up with this idea?
man. I mean, if it just came out, that's so crazy too. Like that's so funny. You talk up. We're talking about this now because I just remember my boss. Even his idea, even his thing is like Moki. Um, you have these like ideas that like very, people don't think about and like don't I don't even know whatever. And I totally forgot. And like even when my on the real estate side, like I've also been trying to be. I've been trying to do it in a way that is like I don't know. I just lost sight of that. I've lost sight
Hmm.
of like just
That's what
come up
happens.
with
Yeah,
some dope.
it's
Come just try and come up with really cool shit.
because what happens is when you get in your head too much about the outcome and sales and things like
Yeah,
that, what happens is you're limiting your brain. And what
yeah.
like they say that like when people kind of uh I don't know what, not like when people start to lose their memory, like they, not dementia, but when they start to lose
Is
their
it
memory,
is that amnesia? No, not amnesia.
maybe amnesia, but like the first part of the brain that gets affected is your ability to censor yourself and edit yourself, right?
Mm,
And what happens is during that moment, in that beginning stage, people are actually the most creative, because the what makes people humans not creative is because we edit ourselves before. Like when we write, we're editing ourselves before we write. When we draw, we're editing ourselves. When we speak,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
constantly editing ourselves first, because we're afraid of judgment. We're afraid of, oh, what if this doesn't look good enough? You know what I mean? But then it's almost like we need to get rid of that editing, and we need to take that limitation off, and that's when we can, without any fear or any worry of, oh, this is going to be stupid, this is going to be bad, it doesn't matter. And you just, and that's when the best stuff is going to come out. And I feel like whenever I get too much in my head, like, oh, is this going to convert, is this going to sell, is this going to get more views? You're always sacrificing your content when you do that.
Yeah. Man, okay. This is good. This is good. Yeah, my content's gonna be, man.
You should have an ideation process where you come up with all the ideas, no matter how crazy you think it is. And then afterwards, if it needs to be edited, you can edit it.
Yeah.
But I think in the beginning, you can't edit it. Like, you just have to
Yeah. Just go
throw
for it.
everything out
Just go
there.
for it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe that's what you should use TikTok for. Just
Yeah.
put everything out on TikTok,
I know,
no
right?
matter how
Right.
stupid you think
Exactly.
it is.
Yep. Exactly. Okay. That's a yeah. This is really really good. This is really good. Huh.
So your brain is already
Yeah, I mean,
is turning.
there's been so much stuff I've seen, and it's so crazy when I look at I see you know other people's content and like other ideas, and I'm like, oh man, this would be so funny to do, or this would be so cool to do, or this would be so interesting to do, and then I say, well, does this? And in my mind, I'm like, does this have to do with like what does it have to do with real estate? Like, what does it have to do with this? And then I just
Yeah.
like, man, let me go to the next one.
Yeah, you're limiting yourself. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should always, like, every time you get idea, you should just write it down somewhere, and
yeah,
then just, keep at it. And then
yeah,
yeah, and then as a creative, here's another thing: there has to be a period of time where you just don't think about it at all, like where you just go for a walk, go
yeah,
do
yeah, yeah,
something
yeah, yeah,
else,
yeah, yeah.
and then let those dots connect in your head. Right? That's what always happens to me.
Yeah, yeah. This is so good. This is so good because I'm also just realizing how much, how little I do that because even when I was even if I'm doing social media like that's not related to the brokerage, um, I'm still thinking about real estate, social media for myself or some other people. So it's like, dang, and then after and then I go to bed and like it's just always on and I don't give it time to settle. So
Yeah,
man,
you gotta give it some break.
yeah,
You,
I need to
you
relax,
gotta step
man.
away, and yeah, I think it's called the gap effect or something,
Mm,
where they say when you're learning something, or when you're,
yeah,
like, doing math or something like that, and then you all of a sudden stop and you take a break and you don't think about it at all, and they measure, like, the brain waves or something like that, and then they find that it's your brain is actually doing the same thing that you were doing there, but like
yeah,
20 times faster.
yes,
So that's when, like,
yeah,
real thinking is happening, real
yeah,
calculation is happening or something.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions that, or anything else you want to go
No,
over?
I think no. I'm my family's back home, so like they're all making noise, and I have
Do
and I have to
you work from home?
yeah, yeah, work from home.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice, man. Oh man, like speak night owl, right, with storytelling, everything like that. Um, I was writing the most recent post about like working from home that I wrote. It was just like a single image one, and I remember I was like writing it, and it came down to the I think it was like the not the myth truth. Oh, it was like I used to
But like
think
the
this.
transformation.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
transformation, right? Like I used to think
Yeah.
this, and then like the internal conflicts, of like working from home, and I don't make a lot of money. If I worked in the office, I would make more money, and like da 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 da. And then I was gonna write like, oh, but the truth is, like, I work, I love working from home because of something had to do with money. And then like I
Mm,
thought about it a little bit more, and I was like, no, 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 that's not it. Like the reason why I love working from home is because for me, when I was growing up, my dad was rarely home because he was a financial consultant. So he was like always
mm,
traveling. He missed out on so much. He's a great, I mean, he's still like my idol, but like when I look back, I'm like, I just wish I had more time with him. And so for me, it's like work from home and like be able to spend time with my family, spend time with my son. I'm like, that's why I work from home.
mm.
And that's why I do what I do what I do. So man, like Night Owl has like totally like just like transformed like how I even just like approach like my memories, but even like my regular life.
Oh, I
So
love that.
I'm really interested to see like where my content goes, like even after this conversation, because I think it's I'm actually I don't think I've been excited about making content like in a long time as I am right now. Like the shit is about to be on fire, man. It's about to,
Good,
people are
good.
gonna be
You
like,
got your
yo,
fire
who
back.
are like people are gonna be like, what is like who is this guy? And they'll
Yeah,
learn. They'll learn. So
yeah, yeah. Let
yeah.
let let all of your fear and judgment go and just do
Mm,
what you want to make,
yeah, that's
and
man, that's it.
let's see it. You know.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. Now that yeah, so I'm all good for now, man. Thanks. So this has been incredible. This has been incredible.
So happy to have you in the community, man. I'm very grateful. Thank you
Yeah,
for showing up. Thank you for keep doing the work, and yeah,
yeah.
thank you for your wonderful stories.
Appreciate it, son.
All
Thank you so much.
right, man. Thank you
Cool.
everyone for listening. See you
Yeah.
all next week, and cheers.